Good evening, everyone, from wherever you are watching. Welcome to another edition of The Big Issue. I am Obi Chukwemeka Oti. Today on the program, we'll take a look at the issue on the front burner in Ondo State and, of course, Nigeria at large: insecurity. Our Constitution says the directive principle of government shall be the provision of security and welfare to the citizens, be it of a state or the country as a whole. Insecurity and terrorism has been a major challenge to the Nigerian government in recent times. But in the last 2 decades or so, the spate of violence, crime, and insecurity has risen beyond human imagination. The activities of the Islamic sect Boko Haram in the country, especially in the northern part of Nigeria, some of which include bomb attacks, sporadic shootings of unarmed and innocent citizens, burning of police stations, churches, kidnapping of schoolgirls, men and women, etc., destruction of oil facilities by Niger Delta militants, alongside the attacks carried out by suspected Fulani herdsmen on some communities in the north and south, and more recently, the attacks by bandits and unknown gunmen across the length and breadth calls for grave concern. Nigeria has been included among terrorist countries of the world. Many lives and properties have been lost, and a large number of citizens rendered homeless. Families have lost their loved ones. Many women are now widows. Children become orphans with no hope of the future. Recently, the gruesome murder of harmless, unsuspecting worshippers at St. Francis Catholic Church, Ondo State, left the church, residents of the state, Nigerians, and in fact, the global community in shock. Many continue to wail over their losses as breadwinners were cut down, pillars of homes left breathless, children for whom parents looked forward to a brighter future left in the pool of their innocent blood. Where do we go from here? Leading the discussion this evening is the Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Ondo, Most Reverend Dr. Jude Arogundade. Thank you for joining me on The Big Issue.
Thank you for having me.
First, I'd like to begin, Your Lordship, the OSRC Media Group would like to empathize with the Church at a time like this. We can only hope that we never experience this again.
Yeah, that's what we pray for too. We ask Almighty God to save us and to grant the peace that we deserve to every human person. Not just Nigerians alone, but everyone deserves peace.
All right. Conventional and social media alike was actually awash with various versions of what transpired on Sunday at St. Francis Catholic Church, Owo. I know this might be painful for you to recount, but can you share with us what really transpired?
Well, the facts have been conflicting, but the real situation that I found when I arrived. By the way, the first call I got was at 12:16, just about 15 minutes when the incidents took place.
Okay.
And what I heard first was a bomb blast. It was a bomb blast. So I was quickly taken aback and called some of the security people that I know and some of the police station in Owo and other places. And then more information started to come in that it was just a clear massacre, killings and shooting and all kinds of situations. And I was told that many are dead, that many were dead. So I immediately got into my car and drove down. What I saw was beyond belief. What I saw was beyond anything any right-thinking human being will ever expect, that a human being will go out of his way to commit that kind of evil, is beyond my imagination. So, well, immediately we set out to work and we brought in all the securities. By this time, the governor has given me a call from Abuja that is on its way. And then some of the government officials were all over running here and there, looking for how to respond to the attack. So getting there was a kind of shock. My first reaction was a great shock to see such level of destruction, such level of inhuman behavior, a kind of evil that one cannot even begin to explain. So that was how I got there, and then we started to look for all the doctors, call St. Louis Hospital, called FMC, and everybody, ambulance came in, and we're taking everybody to the hospital. And later came to take the bodies away to the morgues. The one in Catholic Hospital and the one in Federal Medical Center. So those were the two places we put the dead, but as I'm talking to you, many are still going through surgery. The Catholic Hospital did about 4 surgery because they are trying to extract bullets from delicate part of the body. A bullet was extracted from somebody's chest. He survived. So those were some of the miracles that people are not talking about. And so on. Bullets from the head, all parts of the body, children killed, babies. This is why the entire situation looks so unbelievable to me and to every right-thinking person.
Many consequential voices in Nigeria have berated this attack on innocent worshippers in the Catholic Church. People who only wanted to fulfill their religious beliefs by worshiping their God. Many have described this attack as one too many, especially against the Catholic Church, as there have been many cases of priests being abducted, churches burnt, etc. What's your view on this matter, Your Lordship?
Well, I mean, people know that the Catholic Church is universal. It's still the strongest single church in the world. And the Catholic Church is a church, and it's also a government in its own right. So it's the most organized of all the churches. And if I'm not mistaken, it's still the strongest. So people just want to make news. People want to break our resolve. They want to intimidate us. But the church is very used to persecution. That is part of our history. In fact, Jesus Christ himself was persecuted, was crucified, was killed. And that has been our history. So we are not new to this kind of attacks. What I just want to say is this, that this very one is one too many, as you said in your opening remarks. But in a nation where you have a government, you think that that will be at the center of everything, and the government will be out there looking for how to punish culprits, looking for how to use intelligence to fish out the sponsors, because nobody wakes up and just carry out this kind of attacks. There are sponsors, there are cells, terrorist cells here and there. So in any organized situation, you expect the government to be proactive and try to disrupt all their cells and look for sponsors, arrest them, and punish them. But to this day, we have not seen anyone punished. People are taken into prison, of course. And what we hear is rehabilitation. In this kind of situation, you don't begin to rehabilitate such hardened criminals. You put them away for good. This is what people do. So that is why it's so clear to us now, after this incident, that the government is not serious, especially the federal government. The federal government is playing dumb, as Americans will say. They are playing dumb. You can't play dumb in this kind of situation, as if the government can no longer recognize its rights from its left. No, nobody accepts that. We know when government is serious, and we know when government is playing games. And playing game is what this is about. Let the government just tell us their position about these attacks, because many people have spoken, and some of the very clear messages we are getting from those who are bold and could confront the system are telling us that government is complicit. And they have not come. They have not come to deny that. Just about 2 years ago, the spokesman of the government came out publicly to say, if you do not give up your land, the killing will continue. He said it on the national television, and the whole nation heard it. So we don't know what government policy about Ruga, about cattle colonies or waterways or grazing routes, all these that the government have tried to impose on the people, and the people have resisted, is the bottom line of what is going on. And government has to, that is why I'm putting this attack squarely at the feet of the federal government. I have no qualms. Many of my members are dead, so death now is no longer even an issue. So the government have to tell us if they still want us to live in this country, if they still want the Christians to survive in this country. If they want to wipe us away, they should tell us clearly so that we know how to defend ourselves. After this attack, I think we have been engaged, and we do everything within our power to stand firm and to resist anyone who comes to attack us. Okay. We hope that the government does their job. We hope the government does its job. It is its job to protect the people. So this is how I feel.
Okay, you said if the government doesn't want Christians in the country anymore, they should make it known. Are you saying religious intolerance, which is on the rise in Nigeria and has claimed, and unfortunately still claiming, lives of Christians, especially on the issue of blasphemous utterances? Do you think there's a connection between this and the attack against churches?
Well, again, I don't know the connection, but we have not blasphemed anybody. We respect every religion. There may be individuals who are going beyond boundaries and to do things that are not acceptable. I won't want my religion, my faith, to be blasphemed. Neither will I ever blaspheme anybody's religion. So, but taking laws into your hands in a democracy, and people are being killed, and people are being given mob and lynched in a country where there is government, and no clear response has come from the government, then you begin to wonder, what is this? This is not Nigeria that we grew up in. How did we suddenly become so intolerant? People have said it again and again. If you want to talk about this government and their policies and the way they have carried on, they have divided this country along ethnic groups, along religious groups, along all kinds of things. And they know it. That is why the policy we are talking about that the government has been running, those policies are not the kind of policy that will unite us. How do you want the indigenous Nigerians, the indigenous people of Nigeria, to give up their land to accommodate foreign fighters, foreign terrorists, herdsmen, whom we know to be very violent? People are resisting it because land for us is the identity of the people. When you ask them to give up their land. You are asking them to give up their identity. So this is the situation. We voted for this government anyway. This is democracy. How can you put a government in power and they turn around to commit to be complacent in this kind of situation? So this is what I'm talking about. This is what everybody is saying, and they know it. And it's not just me saying it. This is the common view of our people.
Okay, you mentioned earlier that you, as well as many other consequential voices, are alleging the complicity of the federal government. Like the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, has protested the killing of these worshippers. They displayed placards with inscriptions like, "Stop persecuting the Christians," "Don't play politics with our lives," "Stop killing Christians," and "Address insecurity in Nigeria urgently." How realistic is this allegation?
Yes, well, the government have to clear its name. And I don't even think they are ready. They are just, behaving as if this is no issue. That's how they are taking it. I've appealed to the international community to pose a clear question to the Nigerian government so that at least those who can hold the government accountable, it seems that we citizens can no longer hold our government accountable in this issue. So the other nations and leaders of other nations who are able to hold our government accountable should ask the clear questions. We have written to different countries. We have spoken to people, to the international media, asking them to please call the Nigerian government and ask what is this about, what is it about. I've read so many reactions from other parts of the world, including Iran, and spoke out clearly that this is unacceptable. So, and they are Muslim countries, and Muslims and Christians have lived together in this country for so many years. How do we suddenly woke up and began to be at each other's throat, and even not even being at each other's throat, but Christians have been attacked and Muslims are screaming that this is not even acceptable. The Sultan of Sokoto also spoke up that this is not acceptable. But who is doing this? The government cannot claim that they don't know them. Call them and punish them, and let us see that justice is being done. Christian persecution in Nigeria is very clear, is very real, and the government cannot deny it. They claim that other people are being attacked too, but that is bull. That is not acceptable. That is even a way of explaining the situation away, and turning the eye from the truth, from the reality. So this is what is going on presently, and I feel strongly that somebody must speak to this government. And those Christians who are in the government, what are you still doing? I mean, is it that the president and some of the cabals who are already in charge of Nigeria today are too powerful to be confronted by the other Christians in the government? I hope they are not selling out their brothers and sisters in the Christian faith. Okay. This is what I see.
All right. There are lots of conspiracy theories making the rounds following the Dastardly Act. But as the popular saying alludes, there's no smoke without fire. One of such theories is that the attack was a direct affront on the psyche of the governor of Ondo State, Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, who has been quite unequivocal in demanding true federalism in his capacity as a chairman Southwest Governors Forum and the entire Southern Governors Forum, has vivified an anti-open grazing law, establishment of Amotekun Corps, and the demand for power shift to the South come 2023. In all of these postulations, could there be some elements which could provide clues for investigators to identify and apprehend the fleeing perpetrators?
If the investigators are serious about their job, they know. They know what to do. They know what is the cause. They know what is at the bottom of this attack. Well, the governor has been outspoken. Everybody needs to be outspoken at this time of our history. You do not allow criminals to come into your state to disrupt the peace of your state. So he's doing his job. If he's raising Yamotekun to protect the forest, to protect the citizens, the dwellers or inhabitants of Ondo State, he's doing his job. So nobody should want to punish him or to discredit him for that. If he's fighting for political relevance for his people, he's doing his job. So we should just sit down and give up ourselves to some group of people who feel that they have rights and the obligation to dominate other parts of the country. My goodness. We are not onlookers in this country. We are co-owners. We are co-citizens of this nation. And no one should feel superior or above the law over the other. So this is what I'm saying. Anybody who did this thinking that he wants to make the governor unpopular or he wants to disgrace or treat the governor, that person must be out of his mind. Because, my goodness, the role of the government, the role of politics, the role of is to make sure that there is peace, there's tranquility, there is growth, there's equality within the system. So I'm not going to go into political statements or anything, but you know what? This country, there's an arrangement, unspoken and unwritten arrangement, how things have worked so well in the past. For anybody to be attempting to change it now and use violence or intimidation, such people should be brought to book. Those violence and intimidation are against the constitution and law of that nation. Let the laws be applied. The governor didn't go out there with his soldiers to kill anybody. He put the security men in place to protect his state. So it is those who want to intimidate and enslave the people of this state or that part of Yoruba land or even the South as a whole. Those people should be called to order.
Okay.
And there's a way of doing it. Okay?
Okay. Let's take a look at the ancient town of Owo as the epicenter of the entire scenario once again. We have witnessed the influx of illegal gold miners in not too distant past. Moreover, a couple of weeks ago, before the church attack, an expatriate construction worker was kidnapped in broad daylight alongside his driver, I suppose just as a military officer protecting him was murdered in cold blood. Earlier, a farmer was abducted on his farm, and don't forget, a bullion van had much earlier been ambushed on the highway at Emure Junction. Could it be said that these terror groups have infiltrated the Southwest and Owo is their nestling ground?
Well, if the government knows that with all that you have counted, some of which I'm not even aware, if all these are happening in Owo, why has the federal government not intervened and clear it? Why they have left it to fester to the point of attacking a church? Who is behind all this? These are the questions everybody is asking. I've asked the international community. I've told even the Holy Father, the Pope. I've told the whole world to call Nigerian government. You know, Nigeria is a regional power. Nigeria has gone to all kinds of international engagements and have performed so beautifully well and with clean records, so that we cannot even defend our own local issue. Who is playing this politics? Who is playing this kind of dirty politics? So we Nigerians have no right to now ask who is behind this, who is playing this politics. This is what I'm talking about. You don't come to kill innocent people, those who have nothing to do with anything, who are just living their life. All they wanted is to do their legitimate business and to have peace in their community. Nobody goes to obstruct or disrupt such people's life in anywhere in the world. Government protects such people because such people makes up a beautiful nation. Whatever is the agenda of this group of people, which we feel is being supported by the power that be, they should let us know. It is time to talk. I said that to the governor when the chairman of the Governors Forum of Nigeria came to visit me. I asked that question. Is it not time for us to sit down and talk and say, this is not acceptable? Already, some of the radical ones among us are already calling for separation, breakup of Nigeria. Because nobody is going to sit down and watch family members killed and properties destroyed, and you expect them to just sit down and be looking. They have to arm themselves and defend themselves, since the government have shown that they are not fair, that they are partial in the present situation. And I want all Nigerians, wherever you are, those in diaspora, wherever you may be, whatever influence you have, to let the whole world know that what is going on in Nigeria has a trait of government participation, government's own inaction. Government cannot afford to be playing dumb in this kind of situation. You can't, anyway, this is how I feel.
We are not calling for people to carry arms. No, that's not what we're saying, because we will not want to encourage that. All right, finally, before I let you go, security forces say they have ordered a forensic investigation into the attack to investigate the actual or remote causes and for the immediate arrest of the assailants, as all hands are on deck to forestall any similar attack in any part of the state, and in fact the country at large. Do you foresee this happening, as there are many other victims who have suffered similar fate and are yet to actually get justice?
Nobody trusts the government anymore. And when the people no longer trust their government, the government is finished. The government today in Nigeria, government is no longer a relevant part of the life of the people. So government is not relevant. It's not useful. It's a useless government. When the government cannot do the primary duty to carry out what they ought to carry out, especially the protection of people's life, the government loses its legitimacy. And that is what is happening. So when you say government said this and that and what you just read, for me, it's a way of saving face. It's a way of let them do it in reality. Let them do it. Do I have to teach the government? Do they have to say it? Let the different organs of government get at work and carry out and arrest people and see them brought to justice. It is then that the people can begin to believe them. In this kind of situation, the people no longer believe their government. And unfortunately, the government is carrying on that way, as if they have sort of kidnapped their own citizens and then oppress them and silence them in order to be able to carry out their own agenda, and whatever that agenda is. Every government protects its citizen, but our own Nigerian government exposes its citizen to criminals, to even external forces. And government policy in the past 4, 5, 6 years have shown that government itself cannot wash its hands clean in what is going on in Nigeria today. I mean, you want me to start counting all those policies? I can count them for you. Why would the government, who knows that people are infiltrating in this country, now give them the authority to come in without much screening? and made a policy that will allow people to come into this country. What are they looking for? What is this? Who is beyond all this? Is it how the House of the National Assembly has spoken out? The Senate has spoken out. Individuals have cried. I even saw somebody crying at the floor of the Senate. Yet, it's as if the federal government is just, and those who are now trying to defend their own people, it is then that the government will show how powerful it is. If the eastern part of the country, people are coming out to defend their own people, then government should understand why they are doing that. So Nigerian government is playing games. And people are speaking up, but they are not even ready. I think they have made up their mind about what there are many have gone to other parts of the world. Please, whatever influence you have wherever you are, use it to compare Nigerian government to do the right thing. And it's already leading to death, close to genocide in Nigerian society. Do you realize what has happened in southern Kaduna? How even villages have been sacked, and those villages have been taken over by criminals, and those that wants to settle in the land of indigenous Nigerians. You don't bring settlers from other parts of the country to sack the indigenous people. That is what is going on.
I have been speaking with the Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Ondo, Most Reverend Dr. Jude Arogundade. Thank you so much for sharing your perspectives with me on the Owo attack. Many thanks to you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, and thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Please join me again after the break for a deeper look into our focus for today.